Hello, this is my 2005 Subaru Impreza WRX for sale. It's a 2005 model year on a 54 plate. It was registered in November 2004. So this video is a video for the sale, really, just showing you the general paint. There's a few scratches on the car. It is not mint, however it's a pretty tidy car. It's only had one previous owner other than me, and this video will just show you around the car, really, give you maybe a bit of a better idea than the pictures would on the condition of the car here. The front of the car is fairly tidy. There's no rust around the front arches whatsoever. Obviously there are a few little stone chips around the front of the bonnet and on the front bumper. Both of the headlights are very clear, neither of them are cloudy at all, which is quite common on these cars of this age. So here's the other front arch as well. As you can see, no rust. The car is completely standard, no modifications whatsoever. You can see there's no large cracks or chips in the windscreen at all. Also the leading edge of the scoop is also very clean on this car as well, because a lot of these get beaten up by rocks and gravel and stone and stuff. There are a couple of little chips on it just there, but other than that it's fairly good condition. Moving around, the doors are also in very good condition. No real marks or scratches on this side. There are a couple of small scratches obviously below the handle here, but there's not really that many around the handle. As for the rear arches, as you can see, they're also in a very good condition here. No paint bubbling whatsoever on this side. Inside of the arches there is a little bit of rust down there, but it's literally just surface rust. There's no rust around the filler cap either, as you can see there. This car is a SE, so it does have an electric sunroof, which I'll show you more when we come to the interior. As you can see, it has a heated rear window, as all cars do, and the standard spoiler as well. You can see there's no rust or drip marks coming from where the spoiler is screwed into the boot, so it's not actually rusty under there, which happens on a lot of WRXs and STIs. This is a WRX, not an STI, and you can see we still have the standard exhaust system here as well. No modifications whatsoever again. So on this side we do have a little bit of rust underneath this arch here, but again it is only surface rust and can be repaired very easily. There's no bubbling under the paint. Same with the doors on this side, they're also in very good condition here. There's no real marks on the doors on this side either, I don't think. Can't see any anyway. I have just washed the car obviously, so there is a little bit of a scratch just there. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. You can see that there, but again that will probably just compound out if you wanted to get rid of stuff, small blemishes like that. As for the wheels, tyres and brakes, the 2005 model came with the grey wheels as standard and the brake calipers. None of the wheels have been refurbished. This one is pretty good. As you can see around the edge of the rim here, there is a little bit of curb rash, but barely any on this one. The car has got Yokohama winter tyres on, and you can see they have got plenty of tread on all four corners. I'll move to the back passenger side wheel and tyre. This wheel is a little bit beaten up around the edge, but like I say, these wheels have never been refurbished, so they are just sort of as they came. And again, we've got the same tyre with a decent amount of tread on there, if you can see that. Moving around the car, I'll give you a sort of full back shot of the car here, which you'll kind of get in the pictures. So you can see the tail lights and the sort of overall condition of the car. So this back wheel here again has got quite a bit of curbing around the rim. It's especially bad just here, but again, original wheels, never refurbished. Also got the red brake calipers, which is 2005. Model year only. 2004s do not have red brake calipers. And again, decent amount of tread on the tyres. All four are the same. Tyres on the front. The tyres for this car are I think 215, there we go, 215 45 R17. Excuse the police car or ambulance or whatever it is going past on the road there. And I think the brake pads that have a decent amount of thing on, you can't actually see on this one from this side. It's a bit tricky to see, the camera doesn't do so well in the dark there. But anyway, there's not as much curbing on the front wheels as there are on the back ones. So overall though, there's no real corrosion on these wheels, so they are pretty good. Could probably just do with a refurb if you wanted to do that. So I think that's about it for the exterior of the car. Oh, it does have fog lights on the WRX on the 2005s, unlike the STIs, which have it blanked off. The 2003 and 4 STIs do have fog lights though. But this is of course a WRX. So we will open the car and show you the interior. I'm going to start the car as well for you. So we will get in. Ooh. So, while the car's warming up here, as you can see, it has 94,429 miles on it, most of which were done by the previous owner. I haven't even put 1,000 miles on this car yet. I've only owned it since December, but unfortunately the WRX is a little bit slow for me and I want an STI. That's why I'm selling it. The clock does work and it is showing the right time. It's Sunday at 2:22 in the afternoon. And as you can see, the interior of this car is completely standard here. This plate down here around the gear stick was a optional extra. And you can see we have this standard Subaru shifter on here. This is a 5-speed manual gearbox. And then reverse. And now all the air conditioning, climate control, heated rear window do all work. And being the SE model, it does have these quite nice leather seats, and they are heated, they're not cooled. So forwards to go on full heat and backwards to go on slightly less heat, and in the middle for no heat. Both of the heated seats do work. Got a little tray down here with the cigarette lighter and a ashtray, which no one's used by the way. So there we go. The radio, I've never actually tried it before, but I would presume it works fine. Yep. Indeed it does. It has a CD player and a tape player. It doesn't have any kind of aftermarket speakers as far as I'm aware, because I never actually used the radio. They are just a standard speaker system. You can see here you've got all your windows go up and down nicely on auto, and back up on auto on the driver's side. And then on the passenger side, the window also goes all the way down and back up nice and smoothly. as do the rear windows. You've also got your mirror adjustment and your locking, and to lock the rear windows down there. The controls for the fog lights are just down here, but I'll show you all the lights are working on the outside of the car in a minute. So continuing on with the interior, up here you have the controls for the sunroof. So if I just open that up there, you can see the sunroof is letting in the light as it should do. The sunroof doesn't leak at all, and this button here does make it go all the way back nice and smoothly. And as you can see on the outside of the car, around the edge of the sunroof, is very well maintained and very nice and clean here. There's no dirt and grime built up in there, and the little deflector thing comes up nicely as well. No sticking or anything in there. There we go. And if you just want to open it a bit, you can just open it a crack like that as well, using this button here. Both the lights on the interior obviously work, and same with the rear one, because I've got the door open. So let's shut that there and move on to the back. I should mention as well, the floor mat on this side is ripped, and it does have metal pedals, so I don't know if you bothered about that. The passenger side door mat is fine. In the glove box I do have the locking wheel nut in this bag here, as well as a spare wheel nut, and also it has passenger and driver airbags as well, obviously. So moving into the back here, the windows in the back do obviously go up and down very smoothly as well. No squeaking or anything. In my driving position, you don't really have much room in the back, and this car doesn't have any mat pockets, so there's no real cubby hole back here to store anything either. This window also goes up and down very smoothly. The other thing, it has the armrest in the centre here, so it's quite comfy actually back here, and there is a decent amount of headroom as well. You can also see the interior nicely from back here. It has the 2 cup holders, has the thing here which I forgot to mention earlier. It doesn't rattle or anything like that. That is one of the good things about this car, is it has 0 rattles on the interior. I'll show you around the other side as well before we move on to the boot. So again, the seats in the back, very clean, no adjustable headrests if you're bothered about that kind of thing, but they do have the things to connect the child seats down if you have childs, and obviously it's a 5-seater, has 3 seat belts in the back, and the back side on this side is obviously the same. So we will open the boot of the car now, show you in there. The fuel filler cap and the boot release are both on this side, you just need to pull on those, or obviously you can open the boot with the key. So there was a little creak there lifting the boot up, but as you can see the water channel's fairly clean, not blocked up, so there's no leaking into the boot. This is a saloon, so obviously you have a little bit of a smaller opening than you would in, say, a hatchback. So underneath here you've got your spare wheel and your tools in there, and then I think the jack should be in here. There we go, there's the jack. One of the best things about this car is nothing rattles when you're driving it. Now obviously being a Subaru, it doesn't have any insulation on the back here, so the exhaust does blow a tiny little bit, but it is extremely quiet compared to a lot of aftermarket systems, which is quite nice if you want a car which is fairly quick but you don't want to wake up your neighbours in the morning or whatever. So I'm going to turn the fog lights on here. and the hazard lights as well. Maybe not. Hold on a second. So it is possible the front fog lights are not working. So there we go, that's one thing I didn't really know about, to be honest. And the rear fog light is also on, but you can't see it on the camera because it's actually too light, which is kind of annoying. So let's just turn the headlights on. There we go. Both headlights and side lights do work. Can't show you the high beam as well here. There we go. So you can see the high beam on as well there. They're not the sort of bluey coloured ones, they are just standard bulbs. So we'll turn that off. And obviously the washers do work as well. So we'll now have a look under the bonnet, which is on this side here with that little lever there. We can get the thing with one hand here. There we go. 1 second, I'm just going to have to put you down while I prop the bonnet up. There we go, the engine bay isn't absolutely perfect, but is well maintained. Obviously there's no squeaking or rattling from under here. You can see all the fluids are in decent shape. Can't really see the coolant through the bottle there, but it is topped up to the max line, which is just there. And also the oil is also okay. I don't actually have a rag, so I'll have to show that maybe in an edited clip. But as you can hear, the engine is running perfectly fine. The intercooler is in fairly good nick as well. There's not an excessive number of bent fins or anything. It doesn't have the red top like the STI, but it's just a WRX, and as you can see, there's no modifications. It has a standard air filter, the standard turbo, and it also has the standard suspension as well. It's not on coilovers or anything. You can see the inside of the scoop there is also cleaned out. There's no tearing in the bit round there, and the inside of the bonnet is also fine. So I just thought I'd take the car on a quick test drive to show you the car driving. Now this is a 2005 car, as I said earlier. I don't know whether I mentioned, but 2005s are 2-litre turbocharged cars. So this car has 220 horsepower, obviously being standard, 220 horsepower. You can hear it's very quiet in here currently. I'm in 5th gear, going along at about 40 miles an hour. And as you can hear, the car is very smooth, very quiet. Well, as quiet as a Subaru can be. Obviously the wind and tyre noise in a WRX from 2005 isn't great, but you know, it's a Subaru, so you're not really looking for luxury. You can hear, even when we put our foot down, it's pretty quiet, which obviously I won't do yet because we're only at 30 here. So we'll keep going along for a bit, and hopefully you'll be able to see on the video. that the car drives nice and smoothly. Also no knocks or rattles apart from the camera mount squeaking, probably. That's probably the only thing that's going to be rattling in the car. The car is fully warmed up to temperature. I don't know if you can see on the clock, you can't on the screen, but it's 2:54, so obviously I left it running while I did the video earlier of the exterior and interior of the car, and yeah, it's fully warmed up temperature, including the oil temperature. So obviously your oil takes much longer to warm up than the coolant, which is the only display you get in this car. I think the only cars you really get oil temperature gauges in is like Porsches, maybe some cars with a digital display now, but I know Porsche 911s from this time had gauges. So we're in a 60 limit now, so when we get onto a nice straight bit, I'll run through the gears and you'll be able to see how smooth it is. We're currently in third. You can see in fourth, nice and smooth as well. So I'll just pop her in second. Third. Fourth. You can see, pulls well in all the gears. Brakes also work. There's no juddering whatsoever under braking, so the brake discs aren't warped or anything like that, which can be quite a common problem if you get one that's done a lot of track days. So again, third gear, about 3,000 RPM, foot to the floor. There we go. As you can see, it pulls very nicely. Brakes completely straight. Downshifts nicely as well. Pedals are really good for heel and toe if you can do that. So I'll just let this fan go a bit here. So we're in second gear now, 2,000 RPM. Foot to the floor, a little bit of turbo lag. Car generally comes in quite nicely at about 3,000 RPM. Once it gets up to 4, you're pretty much on full boost there, and it'll pull nice and steadily all the way to sort of 6,500 to 7,000 RPM. This car is a 5-speed car, not a 6-speed like an STI obviously. So on the winter tyres it does handle fairly well, especially when it's cold. You can really tell the difference between the summer tyres. Obviously you can't go around corners too fast with winter tyres because they are quite a lot softer and more rolly on the sidewall than summer tyres are, but they're perfectly adequate, and also they're great in snow as well. So with it being winter right now, I've had this car since December of 2017, and yeah, it's been pretty good in the winter. Whether it's been snowing below 0 degrees, these tyres are great. The engine's very smooth in a Subaru. It's not like a normal vibration you'd get from a 4-cylinder car. You can hear there's no knocking or rattling from the suspension. This is a very bumpy road. Guy in a Hyundai here with the door wide open, ready to get that smashed. Well done, sir. So yeah, this car will be listed on eBay, probably Gumtree, possibly Auto Trader as well. yeah, it's a pretty nice clean car. Like I've said, it had one owner from new, and then I've owned it just 2 months, but like I say, I want an STI. This isn't quite quick enough for what I want. I also like the Brembo brakes a lot better on the STI. These 4-pot brakes aren't too bad at all, to be honest, but the Brembos definitely are better, but you need better brakes and more power, of course. And being an unmodified example, this car's pretty rare as well, to be honest. A lot of these will have been modified and tweaked, so it's quite a rare beast nowadays, is this. It's been a very good car while I've owned it as well. Obviously not had to do any maintenance or anything on it, to be honest. So yeah, that'll be it for this one.